Welcome to War Games, hosted by the sales genius Joe Ingram. If you're looking to win the sales battle, then you have joined the right team. In the War Games group, we devise strategies for sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. We enlist the assistance from the most successful producers across all industries. We then share their knowledge and techniques with you. Our single goal is to get you ready for your next sales opportunity. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that have crossed before you. Now, prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for the War Games to begin.
Are we playing a game?
There we go. Wow. Yes. Hi, it's Joe back again today. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week. I am excited today because I am bringing Dominique onto the screen. She has to wait for a little bit, listen to me talk about her in the studio. So you guys are going to have to bear with me on this one because she's got a lot of success back behind her. Okay. She has revolutionized the digital economy market, and she is the founder of Sublim Business. It's an online school. She guides experienced entrepreneurs, such as everyone that's out there listening right now and watching on the replay, to unleash their full potential and build highly successful businesses. How wonderful is that? She doubled her own revenue, generated passive income, and positioned herself as a key figure in her industry, and did it all super fast. And I know we all face the same thing in our own industries with our own businesses and doing that. So her expertise expands beyond business mentorship. She leads a group of companies, a creative studio, and a world-class training center. So all of that, you say, should I listen to her? And Joe's going to tell you, yes, you should. So let's bring Netta up in her remote mode, driving around. Welcome, Netta. And let's bring Dominique to the screen. Dominique, thank you so much. I know you and I talked last time I was in Washington, D.C., and we talked back and forth about your groups, the ability you have, and I want to put the branding up of the website for you so that everybody knows they can go there. She's got an offer for you on that page, but I want to talk to her real time about what she can help people with and what her biggest successes are. So Dominique, switch with me. There we go. Okay. And so welcome to War Games and the Sales Genius podcast.
Thank you very much, Joe, for having me here. I'm very honored. And thank you for this great introduction.
I try. Yes.
That was good.
So give us a little bit, just a quick background of what you went up against and how you got to where you are now.
Where I am now.
Yes.
Actually, I used to be a graphic designer a few years ago.
Okay.
And as a graphic designer, I decided to actually specialize myself as a photo retouching, specialist. And slowly, I had my own agency as a photo retoucher. We actually retouch a lot of great, magazine with the great clients like Moët Chandon, with Fairmont magazine, Mercedes. I even retouched Celine Dion and Cirque du Soleil too. And actually, what happened inside of the year of 2010, it was actually the beginning in Canada, and especially in the French-speaking market. It was the beginning of the online products, right? Like online courses, certification, and stuff like that. And a lot of people were asking me, Dominique, I would like to do what you do. Where should I go to study photo retouching? And at that time, there was nothing available. Only like maybe series of DVDs,
DVDs. Oh, that's dated. Yes.
Yeah. So, and like for $200, we could have like 12 DVDs to know how to retouch beauty retouching. And there was nothing else. So the 23rd of December 2010, I decided to launch. Actually, it was just an idea at that moment. because I didn't record before launching my landing page. So I was kind of testing, the market first. And then I decided to go online with a landing page saying, look, if you would like to join me for eight months program to become elite photo retoucher, so come and, just fill the form and let's talk. It was the beginning of the strategy sessions. And actually, so the 23rd December, 11 p.m., I launched this organically in my Facebook account. At that time, I had only, a few followers. And to my great surprise, I actually was able to sell 12 clients at $7,500 each. So that means like 15 clients, sorry. So in 38 days, I end up from having just an idea, about the product to launching actually an online program and having already 15 clients that all paid in full from different countries. So this is where I actually started, selling my knowledge online. And through the years, people started asking me how they could do the same with their own, market, their own knowledge. So this is when I actually started in 2016. I started to help people do the same, launch product, reach six figure as soon as possible to get, some money on the side so they could build a team around them. And now I'm kind of specialized when people are stuck, in between maybe six figures, seven figures. I'm helping them actually boost their profit margins so they can finally, get out there and reach the multiple seven figures. Oh, we don't hear you anymore, I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping it works, but yeah, my whole webcam died in the middle of it, so I'm back to laptop.
I continued, okay, keep rolling. Shoot wants to go on.
I got this. Yeah, so perfect. Yeah, all of a sudden it just kicked me out and said, "Hey, we lost."
Oh, the sound is gone again.
Are we back yet?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, good. Yes.
That's the beauty of streaming, right?
I get a lot of error messages for some reason, so I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so the first question is, how'd you get everybody to pay you up front? So I'm just saying that alone was I was like, yes.
Actually, but it was surprising for me because in 2010, I remember my mom, she didn't even have a credit card and she didn't want to buy online. She was so afraid that it was dangerous. So in 2010, it was my great surprise to receive, wire transfer in my bank account from France, from Germany, from everywhere in the world. And I was like, people are trusting me. I just created this landing page, this lonely landing page with a form with no price, at all. Mm-hmm. It was a curriculum. And they were like, I'm in. Here are the money.
That's fantastic. So what are you doing now in the online space? Because again, that just meant you were a pioneer of the online space to say, here, let's go. So I'm imagining we have a lot more than a landing page. We have a lot more than what's going on right now. And I know you and I talked about.
I think I must have created over 100 landing page now.
Exactly.
And record over hundreds and hundreds of online courses. Actually, because the market evolved, slowly, and eventually I end up having a lot of competition because I was helping people create funnels, create also online courses, certifications. And then I realized that where really I had a lot of fun is when people already had something in place. They already have clients, they already have funnels, they already had ads or organic, working for them. But every time I was talking to someone that was quite successful already, I was always seeing that they were leaving money on the table. So I started telling almost everyone, oh, but you could charge more for that, or you're not charging enough. Or, oh, did you thought about maybe having a super high ticket, offer back end that could bring you a lot more profit margins? And this is how I slowly kind of specialize as an offering pricing strategist. So this is what I do now. So I love to help people that they already have a great success, but actually they want more. And they already know there's more, to have also.
I agree. I believe we all know there's more out there, but it's how do we get there? So question. So how is it, and don't give me all the secret sauce. That's not what we're looking for. But when you look at it, how do you get people to believe their product or service is worth more than what? Because don't you think it's more of an internal thing when they look at their price model and say here, right? I always tell people, the second you've learned something, you discount its value because to you it's now known.
It's easy.
Exactly.
Easy.
And there's people out there going, I wish I knew what you knew. And then people have a hard time putting an actual amount on it.
Yeah.
So
that's super interesting, because this is why most entrepreneurs online, they're not selling the good thing. They're selling the hard thing to do instead of their genius. The easy thing, the thing that it's so easy that it's worth nothing to their eyes. And and this is why actually when I work, especially with my clients, even if they already have like a good offer, everything is in place already, they already have clients, I will always dig up a little bit more about who they are, what their genius could be. And sometimes we find, gold there that is just taking the dust, because like you said, it's so obvious for them. They don't think it has value. And sometimes the new thing we found actually have more value, and people are willing to pay a lot more than their actual offer.
Right. Absolutely. And again, I'm also a firm believer that there are certain people that will not be able to learn that topic or what your genius is from anyone else.
Exactly. And what is interesting too is that sometimes people need to pay not because they need to learn something new, but just to have somebody else tell them, you know what, you're right. That's the good idea. That's a good path. Let's do this together. It's like going to the gym. We all know if we want to lose weight, we just need to eat well and go to the gym. That's it. It's super simple. Why are we not doing it? Because we are by ourselves. But I'm quite sure that all of you, we all went to the gym. We know how the machines are working. We know like everything that needs to be done. But again, when you have a personal trainer, they are pushing you, like harder, more, another series, not this weight, this one, So it's right. The same thing, for you. You are this special trainer, that will push your clients to a certain height they will never achieve alone.
I agree completely. So how do we get a group of people together that can push each other? Right? How do you put the right group? Because this itself is that for sales, right? That's what I put together. Was I said I want to develop a mastermind, and I want to give the information to the people who's wouldn't necessarily get it because of a price point, or because their company doesn't sit back and say, "Hey, I think it's worth it." Right?
Yeah, and especially with masterminds, a lot of people think that when they need to higher their pricing, they feel the urge to over deliver and over promises. Like, okay, you will have like one-on-one strategy call with me, and then in group, and I will have a mentor, and then we'll do a retreat too, and then we'll do this, and I will charge you, $20,000. When in fact, people maybe could just be interested to pay $20,000 just to be part of that group.
Right.
Just to have the network, only the network already worth a lot of money. And actually over promising is kind of dangerous. Actually, when people, the people that are willing to pay, 20, 50, 100K, even 200K or more to get a mentor, get a consultant, usually what they're looking for is simplicity.
I agree completely. And there's a whole bunch of memes out there and a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot of the successful people will tell you the $500 client will demand more, require more attention, and just needle you compared to the $5,000 or the $50,000 client who is more self-sufficient, just needs those check-ins more than they need hand-holding.
Exactly. You know, I sold everything. I sold $47 per month membership groups. I sold 250 courses, 150, 2,500 courses. I sold 7,500 masterclass or trainings. I even, I sold also $65,000 program. And actually, more you have actually, the higher the price, the easiest is the sell, because you are talking to people who knows what they want, and they're just there to see if you're a good fit with them. That's it. And
Right.
if you can give them the result they're looking for, boom, they're investing, because they already see the investment. They see the result that they will get. They see the return instead of the expense. So that's the difference with high ticket and low ticket clients.
Agreed. High ticket can see it as an investment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And low ticket, and then the people who can't afford it believe it's a straight expense to them,
Yeah.
and what have you. And I think a lot comes from their mindset, where they say, you better deliver on this instead of what can I get out of this?
Yes, and you also have a different, because we all often, hear about low ticket clients, high ticket clients, but I actually decided to call the first class clients the ones willing to pay 25K or more. Okay, just because sometimes a high ticket for someone is 3K, and for
Right.
somebody else is 50. So I decided to create like another group that is the first class clients. And actually, the first class clients, they're not only willing to pay, they have a budget. They have money reserved every year in between 20 to 100K reserved to invest in themselves.
True.
So they're just looking for the next mentor or their next mastermind.
Right. Looking for the next avenue that will get them the result they're hoping for.
Yeah. I did a research, okay, big research, but I actually asked a question in two groups that have a lot of elite people in it, like people like making 7, 8 figures, even 9 figures. They are part of those groups, okay, on Facebook. And I just asked in the two groups, okay, how much did you invested in yourself last year? The answer was just incredible. It was like, I think everybody actually, I think there was nobody who invested under 10K. It was like 10, 15, 20, 25, 47, and 100. Some people said $200,000. So
Right.
those people have money, and they're looking for their next person that will help them go farther.
So just personal experience. So I had sold someone else's group, right, that they had brought me in to sell for their organization, and I sold a bunch of it. And then there's 30 people in this one private group. And so as I'm sitting there talking with one of them reached out and said, hey, can we have a meeting? And I was like, absolutely. So they jumped in, and when we jumped on the call, their answer was, I'm not getting anything out of this group. And I looked and I said, that's funny, because there's other people in the same group that are getting a wealth of connections. They're getting a lot of information, and they literally paid to get to this influencer that's there. And so I had to sit down, and while we were on a Zoom meeting going back and forth, I'm like, okay, understand, I'm part of groups, right, that I'm paying for, and my only goal is the network within there. And I don't care what I'm paying. I want to be able to associate with the people playing at a higher level, right? And go through. And so I think a lot of people enter into it with thinking, if I pay for something, then everything comes to me on its own and there's no work involved.
It's
right?
coming back to actually who's in charge of your success, Joe?
Yeah, it's all on me.
It's you. Who's in charge of my success? It's me. I was part of I paid $18,000 for a program. It was a 3 months program to write a book and to have access to one of the biggest influencer in the United States. And I have to be honest, during the first few days of the, like the event that we were, I was bored. We were learning very basic stuff, how to do a funnel and stuff like that. And I remember, because I was starting complaining in my head, like, yeah, well, I feel more like the teacher here than the student. And then actually I stopped and I was like, no, look, you paid $18,000. How can you make sure to 10x this amount right now? And then I looked around and I was like, you know what? This influencer I think he was making $30 million per year at that moment. And I was thinking, I have access to his team. I'm in his office. Right. So I just went out of my chair and I went backstage. I talked to his marketing director. I talked to like the videographer that was there, asking questions about how they were, duplicating the content for social media. And I went there and I became friends with the entire company.
Nice.
And actually, 3 months from there, I actually reimbursed, I think 10 times my investment. Great. And actually 6 months later, I was reaching the 6-figure per month.
That's amazing.
Why? Because I stopped complaining. Mm-hmm. And then I just went to get what I was there to, what I paid for, actually.
That's fantastic. I love that, because too often, like you were saying, like we pointed out before in multiple of them, is that everybody's waiting for it to come to them. And just because I bought something doesn't mean that success rolls right off onto you because you joined something. And so.
Oh, and by the way, when you are in a program that you pay like 10K, 15, 20, whatever amount, don't forget the other people in the room paid the same amount. So that means they are paid clients. And you know how much it's worth, a paid clients? If they already paid $18,000 to be there, they could maybe not now, like in a few days, but they could be in a few weeks, in a few months, looking for their next mentor, and it could be you.
Right. If you establish the relationship there, right?
Exactly.
And some kind of value. Exactly.
You see, I went to a 2 days event, like in last October. It was a free event. I went there, and actually I made like $75,000 out of just the people that were there through the months after the event.
Absolutely. JR threw out there, you're there for the gain versus complaining about the perceived gap.
Exactly.
No, that's exactly right. Great summary, JR. So, all right, we're coming up towards 30 minutes, and I don't want to, occupy more of your day. But what I want to say is, what is the best way for people to reach out to you? What is it that they could do to connect with you? And what is it that you have that they might want to be a part of?
Actually, right now, what I love to do is to help people who already have, like I said, they already have an offer. They maybe have a group, a community, can be a paid community or even like a free community. And what I love to do is really to create, strategies with you guys to just explode your income. I'll give you an example. I have one of my clients, he have a paid group, 300 people in the group. Paying like 100 per month. Good. And I told him, do you have a super high ticket offer, 25K offer? And he said, no, but I'm not sure if people will be willing to pay, that much, as they are already paying like 100 per month. So what we did, we kind of tested the market. So we did a little exclusive masterclass, okay, of 2 hours. I told him, like, just give nuggets, don't talk about yourself, just give. And then after, let's upsell everybody. And he actually, he did this presentation in front of 20 people, and he sold 12 people. 12 people to $25,000. This is $300,000 that it generated inside of 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
So right now, don't forget, everybody. I'm assure you, almost. I think everybody there's always more money to do with what you already built. So there's always the next offer that you can offer, or a strategy that can bring you, this kind of income.
Right. And again, truly, if you're providing the value, maybe it's not something they can afford right now, but another program may have more appeal to them later, that they've already received enough value for them to trust you enough to get to the point of buying. So you brought up masterclass. Can you define what masterclass is? Because I know that's one of your specialties as well. So
yes, and what I realized also with like a lot of clients that we experience the same thing is that if for an example, people are in your community, they have like a low ticket offer, they have maybe a group, like a membership group or something like that, like first class clients, they don't really want to buy another online course. But they can be in your email list though. They're there, they're watching you, they love you, they have been consuming the free content. They never bought yet. Why? Because you're offering something like low level. So they're like just there waiting for you to up your game.
True.
And this is surprising, but every time we are creating like super high ticket offer that I love to call it like first class offers, boom, we discover a new level of clientele that were already there in their actual network. They were just waiting for the good offer to appear.
That's fantastic. And and what you said too is that you've got them on your list, you're going through it. So I talked to a friend of mine, and he said, I hit my email list all the time. And he literally does it over compensating on purpose. Right. And I told him, I said, do you still track these things? He goes, yeah, I still track these things. And I was like, okay, but you're going for the unsubscribe. And he goes, yes, I'm going to blast them and beat them up until they unsubscribe. He said, but at the last event he said like 3/4 of the ultra VIPs that all paid 20 grand to be backstage and hang out with him and the guests and what have you, all of them, 3/4 of them had unsubscribed. Okay. And he said, and all of them were like, you just hit too much. I see the value in you because I followed you for years. Right. I see you on social media. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
And so when you put the offer up, I was like, oh, I need to go do this. And I need to get backstage with these other celebrities and these other people. But I think we all believe, like the person you were talking about before, they were saying to you, well, I don't think, because they're already paying $100, I don't think they'll pay 25 grand.
No,
right?
exactly.
And so you are superimposing your belief upon the audience. Right. And to me, once he said that, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? And he's like, yeah. They were like, that's way too much, but I still know, I see there's value in you. But the value they placed on him was in person and his network. And if you go meet these people, boom, even if it's on Zoom, even if you're doing Zoom meetings and you can meet somebody, that's what you need to be doing. So it's always been that way.
Like the offer needs to be different. Like a super high ticket first class offer needs to be like different that you're already giving something exclusive. People like this kind of level of people, they love exclusivity, VIP thing. This is why actually you mentioned it. We're using, very intimate invite only masterclass to attract that kind of clients. They will show up. they will be there. They will reserve 2 hours of their time to be there just because they feel that we're not inviting everybody for those, master classes. And this is great because we're doing this in very small room, of 20, 25 people, not more than that. And we pre-qualify people before the event, before the live. So we make sure that the 20 people that are there, first of all, they confirm, they show up, and they already reserve also a strategy call after a follow-up call after the main event. And actually, we are converting 30, 50, and sometimes 80% of the room into first-class offer, 25K and more. This is an approach that I actually developed because I was selling in the French-speaking market that is very, very small market, and especially in Canada, we are just 8 million of French Canadian, right? So very small market.
Yeah, just point out 8 million is a small market. I'm just going to I think, you have some people going,
it's not a tiny market. We are 8 million of individual. So imagine like the amount of business owners. It's a very, very small market. And instead of passing ads, I love to just pick the people selected, the people that I wanted to talk to, invite them into a presentation, like a very exclusive presentation, giving them like a lot of nuggets and a lot of knowledge. So people can also leave the room and they already have something they can implement in their business. But they want more, they will want more. And usually those people, why? Because you picked them very carefully, they will want to invest to get more and, get their investment back too.
Fantastic. So we've hit our 30-minute mark, but I will also say it's funny because I look up at the screen for you and I, and it says 0 up at the top for viewers. And over on the LinkedIn side, there's like 15, 20 people on LinkedIn that are over here. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand where the view count is off. So I assume the same glitch that turned off my camera, right, is messing up on this side. But what I am getting is text messages as well. So one of the text messages came in and said, so how exclusive do you have to make the offer to charge more? That's one of the questions.
It depends, because when I started, specializing myself in offer, and I'm sure that all of you maybe already read, the 100 million offer of Alex Hormozi. This is a great book, by the way, to read right away. But also, I actually invented the 5 pillars of an offer. And what I realized is if you're taking his approach and mine together, you can have a very powerful offer. Actually, there's 5 pillars your offer needs to bring to the table for the person. Maybe you can just have 3 of the pillars. It's sufficient. But if you have the 5, this is where actually you can really charge a lot of money. Okay. And actually, you have to bring people knowledge. Okay. You have to bring people a transformation. Not like a transformation, like you will, lose weight and then you will regain it. No, like a lasting transformation. Okay. So knowledge. So for an example, my course about photo retouching, it was giving knowledge. So people were, ending up being like senior artists when they were getting out of my course. So knowledge, transformation. You want also to create results for people. Okay. And then the 4th one is one of my favorite one, is the experience. A few years ago, I announced, because in Quebec City, where I'm located right now, we are at 2 hours flight of New York City. Okay. It's a very small flight. And I decided to create an event, a 2-day event in New York City, rent a penthouse, bring some people in and fly them with a private jet. And then it was super fun because just the private jets, sometimes this is the kind of experience that you think it will be like super expensive, but it was like 15K for the private jet and I could enter like 12 people at a time. Right. And I decided to include in the package, like someone like that would, create videos and pictures of the flight and the event. So people will end up with a social media package at the end of the event.
Fantastic.
And people were like, oh my God, I want to join. Here my $5,000, no problem at all. And when I started taking, like people who were interested in sending money, and then I asked them, but you don't know what I will be speaking about, in New York City for 2 days. And they were like, we don't mind. It's just the private jet experience that's interesting. So this is where I realized that the experience itself, it's something. I don't know if you ever, maybe book yourself for an event and then you receive like a book by mail, like it was kind of a gift, a surprise. And you're like, oh my God, I received something. So just this little, sometimes it's just a little thing, but it creates an experience, okay? And finally, the fifth pillar is the human. What are you bringing to the human being? Like for an example, the other day I was watching the television and there was this tennis player winning the World Cup. And I was thinking, how much worth this cup? But the cup itself, I don't know, it's in gold, okay? But I don't know how much the object could worth, but it's not that much, to be so proud. And I was thinking, okay, this person is receiving also a big check of $100,000 because he's now the champion, Right. But actually, the real value of winning the cup is the status, because now you're number one in the world. You're the best tennis player in the world. This is kind of priceless. Okay. Right. So the human, what are you bringing to the human? So are you transforming their mind, maybe their body, but are you changing their status, the way they're looking at themselves, their confidence? Are you changing? What are you changing that people will come back to you a few years later and say, hey, Joe, you changed my life,
Fantastic. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I will tell you, that's what a lot of people miss because they're so busy on pillar one.
Yeah, exactly. Knowledge.
Let me throw as much as I can at you. Yes.
I'm moving so much that I'm removing my earrings.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. So, no, that's fantastic. Okay. Best way for somebody to get a hold of you? Is it on the website, getting the guide? Is it find you on LinkedIn? What's the preferred methodology? Because again, people are going to want to know about a masterclass you have now. Mm-hmm. They're also going to want to know, how do I develop a masterclass that's there, right? If I wanted to develop my own, what should I do? The 5 pillars are going to help, but let's be real. There's more to it than just these 5 pillars, because underneath each one of it, right, there's probably 20 different things underneath each pillar, right, that you've got to make sure hold that pillar up. So how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
So the best way is to visit dominiquefraser.com, download the guide. Actually, for downloading the guide, you will need to be part of my school group. I don't know if you know, like the new platform school. No. SKOOL. It's Sam Ovens that created that platform. It's just so great. And when you are arriving, it's like a Facebook group, but better.
Outside of Facebook.
Yeah, a better Facebook group. It's quite new, And actually, you have 20 hours of free content in my group. So it's because to the group you have attached a classroom, so you can unlock, trainings. You can even like have access to the draft of my book, the first class offer. So there's a lot of great content in there. And it's a network. It's the first class network, I'm calling it. So it's a place where I want everybody to pitch in, everybody. So if you have something to show others, come in. By the way, I love to, take over 6-figure people in the network. So that means it's quality entrepreneurs that are in there. And you can post every day if you want, post about your knowledge. And this is the best way actually to attract elite clients, is to show them what you know. And sometimes a lot of people are afraid, to serve a clientele that they think they are like higher level than them. But actually, in my life, every time that I met multiple 8 figures people, entrepreneurs or 9 figures entrepreneurs, they are the one taking notes about everything, you're saying.
I agree.
Sometimes you feel like super little, like this 9 figure entrepreneurs, and they're taking your advice. Okay, so this is why I created this network, is to have people, share their knowledge together. And yeah, for sure, if you want to join one of our masterclass, when you will join the group, you just say that you're interested into the exclusive masterclass, and you'll get a special invite from Joe.
Perfect. So fantastic. Dominique, you've been amazing. Okay, I am sitting over here with my notes going through. I have all my pillars written out. I have and I'm going to recap because I like to recap for everybody on the group, right? Sell your genius, and being the sales genius, that just goes right with what I'm saying, right? We want to sell your genius because it's you not valuing what you believe is your genius because it's easy for you and other people need it and they need you to go out there. You don't have to over deliver, right? Over delivering is an actual symptom of your mindset, because you're fearful that whatever you charged them for on the first time wasn't enough on its own.
Imposter syndrome talking, actually.
Ooh, I like that. Yep. So you want to make sure you differentiate your exclusive offers different than what you have now. So the more the exclusivity, the more the price point is, and the different caliber of individual that will step forward to pay. Okay. And then I love the fact that you said you sign them up for the masterclass and you've already got the follow-up strategy call scheduled, right? So now this person goes into it knowing I better pay attention because I'm already going to talk to them later, as opposed to turn it on and let it play in the background.
And I'm giving them homework during the presentation. So yeah, they do have, and it's an open camera, or they're being kicked out of the room.
Right. And I'm on other people's Zoom calls when I go in there, and I always turn my camera on when I go into the Zoom call, and I'll see there's 30 people on and there's 5 people with cameras on. And I'm like, come on, what is that? Might as well just call that a podcast, right?
But it's us, as a host, we need to set the rules.
Yes.
One of my most lucrative masterclass that I did, it was a Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And I decided, I want to do my masterclass at this moment. I'm doing it at this moment. And I force people to have their camera open and if they didn't book a follow-up call with me after, they were kicked out of the room too. Okay. So that's my room, my rules. Absolutely. And this is actually, and by the way, when you're creating those masterclasses, you can also, because you pre-qualifying people before you get to ask them questions. So you can actually call their names during the presentation and have,
say, Dominique, you said you were focused on
blah, 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 blah. You were dreaming in your form. You said that you were doing this like Joe too. He wanted to do that. So by the way, here how you can do it now. And we'll talk about it during our one-on-one session. So, okay. So I'm hoping that you're ready.
Guys, everything she's talking about is money right now.
Yeah.
Understand that. This is all money making.
This is why actually every client that are, implementing this exclusive, I'm calling it the first class masterclass, branding.
There you go.
And the strategy, and we have the script that we're giving them, like the script, like before, the after, the during the presentation, what is the exact script that you need, during your follow-up session, and how, and actually people don't even have objection and they're just buying, it's just crazy how it
You're works. Like, I don't need a word track because they say yes.
They say yes.
That in the class where you introduce them to somebody else on the same thing helps to build community. Absolutely. But also touches on pillar 5, which is the human being part, right? And if they connect and become successful together, there's your lasting transformation and results because they have somebody else that's at their pace going through it too.
Actually, all my clients are making business in between them.
Yeah.
Okay, they're finding clients inside of my mastermind, and that's the goal, So they come to me for pricing to just make more money. Good, but maybe they need, I don't know, they need like to create a group. Oh, somebody else is specialized in that, or ads, or social media and stuff like that. So in between clients, they are all helping each other out.
Yeah, and I look at it, it's funny too, because I'll get people that come on and they're like, okay, I know I can't pitch my product, or I can't pitch whatever. And I'm like, we're a sales group.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We appreciate a good pitch.
Pitch it, and we'll help you improve it.
Right. I said, we could definitely get it to that point. I'm like, no. I used to put in there, you can sell whatever you want, but don't offer them to join your Facebook group because they're in mine. And then I was like, I don't care. If they find more value in you and let you go, and they go over to your group, they're not going to say, I have to leave Joe's to go to Dominique's group.
No, they will follow both anyway. Exactly. And actually, at the end of the day, we have the same mission. We all have the same mission, that is, making money and having success all together. It's not like, oh, that's my success and I'm very jealous of it. No, and this is something that, really attracted me to the English speaking market. It's how people are open and willing to share and GVs and create partnership, and that's a huge value. This is how you hit 8 and 9 figures. Actually, this is not alone. Nope.
Nope. Yeah, one of my goals for this year was don't take a new undertaking without somebody else to make money with you. So my goal on the wall says never make money alone.
Right? There you go.
And so, but no, thank you so much, Dominique. You were amazing. I know everybody got a lot of value out of it. And so I know people are going to be reaching out because that was phenomenal. So
that's the goal.
Thank you.
Let's help each other out.
Let's all go make some money together. Woo-hoo! So at the end of it all, what is my answer every time? Go out and sell something. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Dominique.